So you want to know how to estimate construction projects as a general contractor. Well, in this video, I break it all down. I show you my internal spreadsheet that I built from scratch and I've estimated millions of dollars worth of construction projects with. I show you the tips, the tricks, and the general contractor secret. All in this video coming up. Stay tuned. By the way, the link for this spreadsheet in the description. Let me start with this. A general contractor does not sit there and take off every single, takeoff means account the material that is needed for the project. So he doesn't take off every single linear foot of electric wire, every single CPVC cap that's needed, every single plumbing line and everything like that. His goal is to make sure the entire project comes together and he sees that entire package, what's needed to go into that package and who he needs to call to make that project a success. So the main goal of the general contractor is put this package together, right? Well, the secret to being a good general contractor is to understand construction. You must understand the specific needs for every single project. Every single project is different. You must understand who to call for the fire sprinklers, the plumbing, the mechanical, the electrical, everything that goes into building the foundations, everything that goes into building the walls, the roof, everything that may change with different structure types, with different occupancy class codes, and just everything is so vast. And I think that is the biggest challenge of being a general contractor, is to really understand how much of this stuff can change. And what if this job needs some special Vitalic piping that you didn't even know you needed, but one of your plumbers caught it when he was bidding the job, and it's your responsibility. If you don't catch it as a general contractor, or if you don't have reliable subcontractors, it's your responsibility to cover those costs. So estimating is a huge thing. A good general contractor gets 2 to 3 subcontractor bids per trade, per division. I'll get to the divisions in a second when we get on the computer, but the point is, on trades like, especially the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, the division 9, which is your finishes, at least 2 bids are necessary to go and price, and you qualify. You qualify the bids that you get based on the construction drawings, the current building codes. And what if this plumber picked up the stainless steel piping and this plumber didn't have it? Well, there might be a price difference there, but then you can call this plumber and say, you're good, you've got my back, and this kind of thing. And it really comes down to quality relationships with your subcontractors and your vendors. The biggest goal of putting together an estimate is making sure you don't have any holes. Within your divisions, you have all these divisions, right? And if you have a gap, this part of your bid is naked. So you don't want to go in with a naked bid where you're swagging something, they say, where you kind of just pop in a general contractor's estimate at that. And that's where it comes down to the trade contractor to really dig into each linear foot of wire and each hour per worker. It's not necessarily the general contractor's responsibility unless the general contractor has in-house employees doing the actual work, like tradespeople installing the drywall, installing the metal studs, whatever it may be. In my case, I don't as of yet, I used to, but I don't as of yet, or at this time at least, have in-house employees other than management. I have probably a crew of 7 people or so that are project managers, superintendents, people that answer the phone. But long story short, I'm speaking from the viewpoint of a general contractor that doesn't have in-house employees to do the work. So here's the secret. You have to understand construction. That's the secret. If you want to be a general contractor, you have to know how to put the project together and who to call. There's also a thing about hard costs versus the intangibles. What if you need a dust wall? What if you need safety fencing? Most of the time you do need safety fencing. But what if the project is phased? What if the project is really far away? So you need to have per diem and travel and hotels, kind of like expense put in there. The phasing project, we're doing an animal clinic right now, and we're renovating while they're staying open. Extremely complex. We had to move the x-ray machine over. We spent like $2,500 or more, like just moving the x-ray machine, disassemble it, like the very day they're getting back into business, and their whole surgery center and the surgery light and all the electrical, everything kind of needed to be put together into a package, but it's phased, so it's much more complex. So how do you account for that in your estimate? Well, that's a little bit nebulous, and it's it's up to you how much you might want to charge extra, of how much you think your project management team is really going to spend extra on the project. Okay, so now you know that you can't have any holes in your bid. You got to get a couple subcontractor bids. You have to have reliable relationships with those subcontractors so they work with you and give you good bids, and you give them the job when you get the job. And there's a relationship building activities happening to where you have a good solid team of subcontractors and vendors. So I can't stress enough how much you need to understand the entire package of construction. Once you do, I feel that you can first be a general contractor, but estimate a project as a general contractor. Now, part 2 of this video is this internal spreadsheet that I use. I've been using this, have bid millions of dollars worth of construction projects using this very spreadsheet. I built this myself. Again, link in the description if you want to download this. Keep in mind, it is a small fee to download it, but keep in mind that I'm spending like $100 to $200 every single video I upload to YouTube, and I'm making barely any money on YouTube as of yet because it's a small channel, but I hope this channel will grow. So if you'd like to support this channel, it would be really, really helpful if you download this spreadsheet. Just know it goes to much more future videos on this YouTube channel about general contracting, entrepreneurship, and mindset. Okay, let's jump in. Let me just clarify one thing. I get my subcontractor bids, whether I use the bids portion in Buildertrend and they send it straight through the system, or if they email it to me and I have it in Google Drive with the whole company Google Drive folder. I'll make a folder under the project I'm estimating, and I will put all the subcontractor bids within that, and I'll change the file name to their company name or whatever they bid dash the dollar amount, so I can go see the entire list of files and I can see the dollar amounts for what they bid. You might be a little bit surprised about this video. Like, Jess, I thought you were going to show me how to like figure out how many 2x4s I need to take off the length of the wall or something like that. And that is important. I want to clarify that you need to make sure your electrician, I mean, you need to go and count all the outlets, and you need to make sure that he's got the LED lighting, and that's your job, is to qualify your subcontractors. So your job is to qualify, which means make sure that they've accounted for all of the outlets. Make sure they saw on the plans that there's an extra bathroom going in, so they need to trench and rough. And who has the trenching? Well, the plumber doesn't, so you need to get the concrete guy. Maybe your superintendent will do it, but who's going to fill the trenching back in, and who's going to do the termite spray? So I think that's my point, and that's the secret to this video, really, is understand construction, but it's qualify the subcontractor bids based off the construction documents, which is your drawings, your specifications, and current code, and what needs to happen for the project to be complete. Okay, so you can see I have general conditions, which is division 1. I have site work, concrete, masonry, metals, wood and plastics, thermal moisture, doors and windows, finishes, which is division 9. This is always a big one. Specialties, equipment, fire suppression, and I have plumbing, HVAC, and electrical here at the bottom. And these are always big ones. Now you see I have column A, and this is yellow, right? So the yellow portion of this is the number that makes it into my proposal or my bid to the client. Okay, so this number is going to pull, if I double click that, you can see there's a formula that pulls from the total. Now, there's quantity, unit cost, and subtotal. And what this is, say permitting, because I know the local jurisdiction, the local city typically charges time or something going down to the city, or just add a little bit of padding, it's this column, and this is for any of these portions of work. Now, obviously, you can't sit here and go crazy with this. You can't sit here and mark this up some crazy amount because you're never going to get the job. But let's just say, I want to throw 3%. You click 3, you click enter, you're done. So what this does is 5150 is the amount shown on this yellow portion here. And that's how all of these sections, all of these divisions work. Okay, so what general conditions is, this is not overhead. General conditions is things like permitting, dumpsters, mobile offices, temporary toilets, maybe some bonding, equipment rental, job site storage, safety requirements, job utilities, general liability, whatever you need. Project cleanup, superintendent, and project manager are your biggest general conditions. Now, and permitting, and typically I like to have the impact fees, if any, or tap fees by the owner. So I'll have the owner supply or pass through, or sometimes I'll just have, hey, you reimburse me for the tap fees. I'm tapping into the sewer or whatever it may be, or impact fees if you're doing like a ground up by a road or whatever it may be. You're impacting the, whatever. So that's a video for another time. Testing and survey work. It's a lot of intangibles that isn't really per a division, but it's division one. It is a division, but it's not like a trade. It's kind of general conditions that go into a project, and that's why they call it general conditions. Okay, let's come back to general conditions. Now, stick with me here. And again, this spreadsheet is available in the link below, and you'll be really supporting this channel. All you gotta do is put your credit card in, download the file, open it up in Excel, and you're rocking and rolling. And you can use this. Now, you don't necessarily need to, you could present this to the client, but you probably want to take off the markup percentage, because down here at the bottom, which I'm about to get to, is really where you want to mark it up. This is just in case you need a little bit of padding. Now, let me explain this. The reason for the markup percentage is not so you can just make all kinds of extra money. It's because, it helps, but you're responsible. Say if the plumber missed a thing, or say them HVAC guys like, I didn't see those extra 7 returns in those rooms or whatever it may be. If you're uncomfortable at all with the subcontractor or with the set of plans and you're really not sure just quite, or you just want maybe 5% of padding in there, this is where you put it, because you're giving a price to the owner. In my new version, I actually don't have these zeros here, so I'm just going to take these out real fast. So let's take demolition, for example. And by the way, you always want to put a 1 in this quantity cell. If you don't put 1 there, this formula won't work. Okay? So let's say our demolition subcontractor gave us a price for $3,500 for this job. This is the YouTube job. So we're building an office for the YouTube headquarters, to say, in our make-believe world here. So 1 at $3,500, but you know what? I'm just a little bit unsure. So I'm gonna put 5%, 5 and enter. So the price I'm giving on a markup, that's a padding as well, to the owner. I'm giving a price to the owner for $36.75. And you can see here $36.75 on the yellow, the main per division, which this will rack up. Say concrete cutting, you have 1 that you want to use, and you have $4,500, but you're not going to put any markup on that. You're good to go. You can see the numbers are adding up. $81.75 is the price to the owner. So you're responsible to get all the demolition done for $36.75, but you'll try to buy it out when you buy the demolition from your subcontractor for $3,500 if you can. So you'd actually make an extra, $175 towards your bottom line, or maybe that would go towards your overhead, which seems like most things these days do go towards your overhead. But you'll get there. Trust me, it's worth it. So you get the idea of how this works. So there's site work is division 2. I put demolition here. You can put it wherever you want. But there's, fire risers, underground utility, pavers, fencing, dewatering if you need that. This is just stuff that I just have in the template, which you can edit and change and add things. Now, why do I have the word concrete written 3 times? Well, maybe you want to get 3 bids. So let's say I just put concrete guy number 1, 2, and 3. So let's say you have a couple of different bids for the concrete package for this foundation, whatever. Let's just say it's $20,000, right? One guy comes in at 20 grand. One guy comes in at 32,000, and one guy comes in at 25,000. So this is bidding as a general contractor. You're looking at the exclusions and the exclusions, saying what's included and what's not included in this bid, and you're comparing that between this guy, and this guy, to see who's got what, and maybe the one guy caught the extra number 5 rebar that needed to go in for the stairs or whatever it may be. And so you're saying, oh, well, did these other guys get it? No, they didn't see it. No, I didn't see it either. Well, and my estimating department didn't see it either because, we're trying to get the whole package put together. We missed that one little detail. Well, because you got good coverage, this guy got it. He's probably going to get the job. But let's say he's, this $25,000 guy. Well, maybe you can negotiate with the $25,000 guy because he saved your butt and you like him. But this $20,000 guy really didn't get it all. And the $32,000 guy is just high. Not on drugs, but just with his money number. Okay, so you want to go with a $25,000 guy, and you might be able to buy him out a little bit lower. Maybe you get it for $23,500 or $23,750 because after you get the job, you negotiate. So what you want to do is put a 1 by the concrete guy, number 3, for $25,000. So now what you've done for concrete, you're giving the owner a price for $25,000, for example, on division number 3. Let's say there's no other concrete work to be done and just call it good. You might want to cover some for if you have to do plumbing, trenching or something like that, but let's just say good to go, $25,000. This is the price going to the owner because here, the highlighted yellow number is what I call it. Okay, so you get the point. You want to go through here, metals and masonry and wooden plastics, and this is where you want to do like your trim and your mill work and stuff like that. Your mill work's probably going to be $50,000. At least that's what it is a lot for us doing these jobs. And roofing and insulation, and you might want to do some thermal moisture. Maybe there's roofing, insulation, EIFS material, whatever it may be. Doors and windows, storefront windows, glass, doors and hardware. You can go ahead and don't forget, put a 1 like that by all the ones that you want to use. So, this is $1 and that's $2, and I'm just kidding, but that's what you want to do to plug these things in. And see here, my price to the owner is $3. But let's say, you know what, I want to put 22% on this $2. Well, now my price to the owner is $3.44. You get the point. I won't drag this out. Finishes is where all your framing, drywall, acoustical ceiling tile, painting, FRP, all your flooring, your epoxy, your carpet, your LVT, whatever, your wall tile, anything that's a finish to the job, not MEP trim, which is mechanical, electrical, plumbing. All that stuff is going to go here at the bottom under division 22, 23, 26, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, and of course your fire suppression going back up here. Your specialties is like bathroom accessories, partitions. We always bid this out and it's always like, I don't know, $1,500 or something like that. So, and you might, sometimes I'll put just put a little bit on there. You make yourself $45. I mean, honestly, it's such a small amount. So let's make $195. How about that? So same thing here with the plumbing. I like to get 1, 2, or 3 bids. It depends if it's a super basic job and I have a subcontractor that I work with all the time. I'll just get 1 plumbing price or whatever. It's not like it's going to crush you on a smaller project, but when you start getting into $100, $200, $500,000 and up, you definitely want to get 2 or 3 bids per trade. So you go ahead and you do the same thing. Your plumber came in at $30,000. You're using that number, good to go. Your HVAC guy, you just list your bids here. You got that bid, you got that bid, you got that bid, and you go and you pick one that you want to use, such as the number you're going in with your bid. If you need to add a little percentage on it, you're good to go. This is all just funny examples, but here's where the magic happens. And look, total project price, big yellow number. This is the price that you're going to present to the owner. Let me explain what I've done here with this spreadsheet, and I hope you download this spreadsheet because it really would help this channel out so I can pay my editor and pay the overhead and pay all the time I spend coming up with ideas. And I love you guys though. Seriously, this is so much fun. I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. Now I finally found a niche that I enjoy. So thanks for watching. And leave a comment down below if you're enjoying this so far. The comments and the likes and the subscribes, it's annoying for me to ask, I know, but it helps the channel so much. It helps the channel grow. Total project direct costs. This is all of these numbers. Boom. Put right here. So you can see hard cost on the job. That's what it is. This is total price to the owner. So there's a difference between cost and price when you're estimating. The cost is what the sub and the vendors come in at. The price is after your markup. Okay, so and that's what you present to the owner because a general contractor is entitled to a fair profit. total project direct costs, and then overhead and the GC fee or your markup. You can play with this, right? You can make it 15, you can make it whatever you want, and you can see how that number is going from 140 to 138. What if we put 22 on there? 146. So let's just put 15, okay? 15%, and this is, a flexible number. You can plug in anything you like there. But if you click this, you can see what this is a formula for, this is showing you what that amount is. So that is 15% of your 120,000. Okay, so big, huge deal here. That's 15% of your price. But how much are you actually making in margin, not markup? Okay, if you understand this, you won't fail as in being in business as a general contractor. 18,000 is 15% of 120,000. But what's this 13%? That's our margin. The margin is the actual percentage that 18,000 is of your project price, because your project price is more than your project costs because you've added 15% to it. But once you add the 15% to it, that's your total project price. And then this spreadsheet calculates automatically what your margin percentage actually is. So that is fancy. And you can see these are my KPIs, key performance indicators, here at the bottom. I feel like the mic needs to be over here for some reason because I'm talking this direction. So 13% is overhead and profit amount. So in order for me to give you the full picture of how these KPIs work at the bottom of the spreadsheet, I need to add project management and superintendent. So let's say this is a 16-week project. Okay, so you need these guys to be here 16 weeks. Your superintendent, let's just say, just guessing, $1,250, throwing a number out here. To figure this out for your company, take what you're paying your superintendent per year, add about 30 to 35% to it for workers' comp, taxes, FIDA, FICA, FUTA, SUTA, all the stuff. You know what I'm talking about if you're a business owner. And burden, how much is this guy, that's what they call it, the labor burden, the employee burden. Are you contributing to his 401k? Are you giving the guy per diem or different things that, whatever it may be, bonuses and benefits? So just put 30 to 40%, so 35% on top of his salary, divided by 52, and that's his cost per week. So then just put a ballpark in here. So let's say 750 is a ballpark for project management, but I'm just ballparking here to give an example. But the project manager isn't going to be on just this one project. The project manager is in your office, my office, running 3 or 4 different projects at the same time. And he's not just all the time focused on this. So I might even drop this down to call it 12. Okay, so 12 weeks and 16 weeks for the superintendent. Okay, and then that gives me kind of this total cost here of $29,000 extra dollars for project manager and superintendent. Now, here's the good part. This is where it gets juicy. Look at that. This bottom dollar is going to go towards gross profit, which is your overhead and your net profit, your superintendent, and your project manager. Those 3 things. It's helpful for me to look at this bottom dollar and see how much I have in there for project manager, superintendent, which are fixed salaries I have to pay no matter if I get the job or not. I still have to pay those things. And this is just the way I think about it, but it's here if you want to see it. Project manager, superintendent, gross profit. So my gross profit is my overhead and my net profit in there. So gross profit has overhead commingled in it before you, then you have net profit. You're getting rid of that overhead, then you have net profits. But if you add overhead to your net profit when you're talking about it, what's that called? You guessed it, gross profit. So this shows you gross profit plus the superintendent plus the project manager, okay? And that's 30% of the project. Now, start from the top real fast here, then this video is about done. So this top gray box is your overhead and profit amount. But there's one thing you want to look at, division markup amounts. Remember, we put 15% here, 13% here, stuff like that. anytime you make a division, I made it to where this goes here. So you can see what we've done at this point is 0.32% of your divisions is your division markup amounts. Now, because that's profit for you, if you can buy the subcontractor at say $3,500 for demo, but you put a little bit of percentage on there, so 5%, whatever it was, that 5% hopefully should be going towards your gross profit, which is net profit and overhead combined. That's gross profit. Now, $22,949.42 is your gross profit. So that's the total overhead and the markup amount and the overhead. It's all figured in here, so it kind of boils down, and you got to buy the spreadsheet to find out these formulas. I'm not just going to show you. And so I hope you do buy the spreadsheet. This bottom number is everything above that plus the project manager and the superintendent. I hope you enjoyed this video. I, as a general contractor, I've been in the business for about 6 years doing this for my company, J Lane Construction, and I figured out certain things, and I have a lot to learn. So put it in the comments what am I missing? Let's start a discussion. I appreciate you watching. Like I said earlier, give this video a like, give it a subscribe, ring the bell if you want to be notified. It pops up on your phone if you want it to and say Jesse Lane uploaded a new video. That's by clicking the bell down below. And commenting really does help the algorithm, and let's grow this channel. I mean, I can't do it without you. And let me know if I missed anything in the comments. But remember, the biggest thing I'll leave you with is you must understand construction. See you next time.